Hello, welcome to another episode of the English Coach podcast. Today's episode explores a small collection of values from what I would call today, the 20th of March 2022, topical schools of thought. I think it fitting to republish a few authentic voices of people with whom I have shared this stage. For the more engaged fans who might be interested in a little more insight or background information on this episode and its guests, the episode today is accompanied by a video exclusive published on the official show notes page, link in the description. Although this show is indeed affected by the news and current events, I like to think of the content here presented as evergreen. The episode today comprises extracts from earlier conversations with Lena, Sasha, and Olga, respectively. And the topics of discussion are as follows. The notion of communicating effectively with a partner or an opponent without words. Meeting in the body. After that, we look at one approach to successfully managing international remote teams of software developers against the odds that are themselves maybe more common than you think. The final conversation looks at the power of improvisation and the freedom that can be found in art. We also talk about using this sense of freedom to solve real problems. I really hope you enjoy the episode today, and without further ado, on with the show. Would you be kind enough to just tell the listeners, tell me what exactly this means to you?
For me, meeting in the body is like recognizing yourself at first. Yes, because through the contact with the other person, you can also learn very much about yourself, but also about the other person. And you can feel your tensions, your state, your relaxation, and the same also of your opponent or of your partner. And it doesn't mean, it doesn't matter if we do this in martial arts or in dancing or maybe in a normal life by touching our child or husband or wife. There is a lot of information in this touching.
What kind of information? Because, you're telling me, I'm thinking about dance, I'm thinking about things like massage, I'm thinking about also meeting and hugging people and things like that. And other things, of course. But tell me, what kind of information you get?
At least the mood of the other one. And you feel what emotions he or she wants to give you. Yeah, if it's warmness or excitement or just saying thank you that you are near him or her. And of course, if we have some more movement like in dancing or in martial arts, there is a lot about information about your body, also the mood and so on, but much more information about the tensions in your body, if you are relaxed or not, how able you are to coordinate different things during this movement. And also you feel in this manner of the dance, for example, if your partner takes care about you. Sometimes there are partners that just want to show themselves and they take you strong and just do their things and maybe want to show you a couple cool movements, and for them it's not interesting how do you feel in this moment. And with other partners, for example, and usually the better level, the better dance and the better feeling, you feel that it's important for him, that it's comfortable for me that I stay on the correct leg, that I'm in balance, that I feel softness and enjoy the dance, and also that I have my own freedom. Yes, and with some partners, especially with the beginners, it's very funny to notice that they are, of course, they have not this level of
It's empathy?
at first you have to have some technical level to be able then to grow through it and then to pay attention to other details, empathy, because at first you are busy with the techniques and you think, okay, if my step is correct or not, and you are so concentrated that you are automatically stiff, and you have no capability to think about your partner in this moment. Yes, and if you feel already free, and you don't think about the steps and the music, and you're like in flow, then you can pay attention to your partner and okay, she could want to have some more freedom in this moment, or maybe she wants to accentuate this music here, and then such a partner is also able to adjust to the other one. Yes, also if one partner lead and the other don't, still they can interact and like play with each other. It's not that only my rules and you only follow.
I'm talking again, and this is actually your stage today, but I'm agreeing with you here by saying that I can definitely relate to the idea of building a whole martial arts on relaxation and also permission to step away from the rigid technique. Yes?
Yes, this is a very important word you said, adjustment. Because also in dancing situation, if I follow, I have to adjust to my partner. And also in martial arts, I'm okay if I am the first who punch, okay, but if I get punched or we are already interacting in a fighting situation, then I have to adjust to the opponent, and I can't insist what I want to do. Yes, because if he does something to me, it's my problem and I have to deal with it, and it's not a solution if I just stand and allow to break something to me.
Do you only fight with men? Only men punch you? I thought women punched you too.
Women are sometimes much more dangerous.
I know.
But anyway, what I wanted to say is that you react. And this is the way how you have to react, not to do just something, but to adjust to the movement in a very precise way. And then you have a chance to come to a mastery movement, which is very small, maybe nearly invisible for the other one, and where you can then defeat your opponent. And if you just do something, okay, so our martial art is very much about precision of the movement. Yes, this is not like he gives me one direction and approximately in this direction I continue to move, or I just do a step to the side. You have to learn to adjust your movement in a very certain way. And if you work it through, then you can really make your movement much shorter and to avoid the punches in a way that your opponent doesn't understand how you do it.
Yes, fantastic, Sasha. It's so nice to have you here today. I am gonna just start by, well, first of all, asking you, what's the weather like in the Ukraine today?
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me on your podcast. And the weather is good. It's a sunny day today, so everything is perfect.
Fantastic, fantastic. Over the past week, we've had the best of weather. There was no cloud in the sky, and people were walking out, but not so many in pairs. Yes, only today. Actually, I think I saw a little snow today. Yeah.
I saw some snow a few days ago, So that was maybe the same one.
Yeah, yeah, it's really strange, really strange. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I am really happy again to finally have you here. What I would like to talk about today, so as we all know, we're in a difficult time now. We are both lucky enough to have some experience with remote working that so many people are called to do right now. So my aim for today is actually, to just give some tips of, tips for people who have to now get into this way of remote working. Give them some, some little hints from our experience, what we think can work, how they can get started with this kind of remote working very quickly. Are you up for that?
Sure. Let's do this.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right. Well, the topic is surviving it. Remote work, friends and family, tools and tips that help now. Now, to get straight into the point, yeah, straight into the topic, I'm going to ask you immediately, as a man who has lots of experience with remote working, can you think of any success stories that you want to share with us right now? Just give you an idea of what I mean in terms of, for example, the diversity of the project mix and the places from which the people took part. Whatever kind of success story you have from remote working. Is there anyone to share with us?
Okay, sure. I will tell you a story about the project we started, I think 2 years ago. The team that was working on this project it's actually still distributed across the globe. So there is a part of the team of Vietnam, Argentina, Ukraine, Singapore, and Silicon Valley. So like all possible time zones, and New York, and New
And New
York. So
York.
yes. So I would not say it's easy, and but it's challenging to work in this kind of environment. The thing is, what, but it's actually step by step. We managed to build a process that worked for this project, and it actually became productive and well organized. So the things that made this project productive is that what is most important is that there is a special role in this project called kind of Scrum Master, or you can call it anything. But this is the person who take care about orchestration of all those people. So what this person is doing, he's responsible for scheduling meetings, for defining tasks, and for the communication between parts of this big team. During the time, the team configuration changed. So we came to the configuration where like not all those locations work in this team right now, but in different times there was those parts working.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I would say, this is a success story that completed as a success. It built a process that worked, and it's still working.
So if I understand you correctly, that project is still going on?
Yes, it's still going on.
Ah, fantastic. And where is it? Where is the Scrum Master? Is he in Germany? Is he in New York?
It's in New York. He's sitting in New York.
How large is this team, if I might ask? How many people?
I think it's around 10 software developers.
And something ongoing. All right.
Yes.
Well, the good thing about that is, well, if it started 2 years ago, again, if I understand you correctly, you now know exactly what works and what doesn't. There are lots of people here who are, well, I wouldn't say lots, but there are probably 2 or 3 people that I know of who offer this kind of service. The issue, or the thing that usually comes up, is the question of trust and reliability. Whereas people, of course, they have their concerns. They're like, okay, there is this person who is sitting somewhere else. Maybe they don't feel as motivated as I do about my project, and they might ask themselves, what kind of quality controls, how do you ensure that a remote developer feels as motivated as I do?
So the first thing I would say is that this is the same question with the on-site developers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you also should, can be sure that the developer that's sitting right to you is that motivated. You can kind of feel it, but the same you feel this with remote. You when you do communication, you also can feel it. How we solve this? We vet those developers who came to us, and we actually leave only I think 15% of all applicants who apply to us. So we check their coding skills, we check their soft skills, how well they can manage themselves, how well they can communicate. So we do this pre-vetting or vetting. Then you can also check them yourself. And because we platform, how you can be sure about reliability, and so because this person is reliable and will work, we actually take developers that are full-time developers, full-time employees. They just look for another jobs, and so they used to work as a full-time, long-term developers. And we act as an arbiter because we have the contract with developers, and they are relying on us. So we have the open rules for all the sites, like for developers and for the customers. Working and providing good service, it's win-win for developer, for us, and for the client.
Okay, well, I think you answered the question nicely. Yes, as though in a very competent manner, because you rightly said the question of quality and commitment and motivation to get the task done. Yes, someone might ask that question about someone who is working remotely, but you could be asking that same question about someone who is hired in your company. And
Exactly.
in this arrangement, as far as I understand, you spoke of a win-win situation. So there is personal interest in the success of every project, because you have your own way of vetting and also controlling, ensuring that there is motivation to have success of each of each project. The English Coach podcast takes my usual relaxed, accessible, human approach to your learning experience, and by definition, celebrates the virtues of diversity and inclusion. Real people, real themes, and personalities from wherever you are. Now, this is not a formal lesson, it's a show. But if you are interested in signing up for lessons, group coaching, in supporting the show generally, or simply in getting involved, do it direct. And feel free to head on over to www.trainingtree.de/podcast or englishcoachpodcast.com. Like it if you like it, and if you don't, lie to me. Just kidding. Anyway, share the show with a friend, or if you like it a lot, keep it all to yourself and simply sign up to join my private listeners group. As an independent podcaster, it's important to me personally to at least try to protect the integrity of my own content, and to resist as much as I can being co-opted into anyone else's ads-driven paradigm, together with all the stealthy violations of your privacy and mine. Signing up directly means that absolutely no third-party app download is necessary. If you so choose, you get to receive all the episodes sent to you by email directly from me, private and ad-free, the way it was meant to be. So then, without further ado, on with the show. All right, well, tell me again, what is the name of that school that you said you worked with? What's the name of it?
It's Better Dance Company.
And where is it based?
It's based in America, New York.
All right. Well, it was very interesting what you said, what you did there. You told me at one time that you guys worked on a project that was inviting you to use dance to communicate certain things. Could you just quickly say what that was about?
The project we're doing, it's called Dancing to Connect, and we're doing it like everywhere around the world. We went already to more than 70 countries. And the idea behind is that professional dancers are coming to normal students, school students, and work with group of students. So 10 years ago, when I took part in this project, in this program, our topic was 20 years of wall fall.
You mean the reunification?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And then I think it was like 5 years ago when I saw that the director of this company was in Berlin again. And I asked him what he was doing here. He said that there are another program upcoming in Germany for next 3 or 4 years. And the current topic will be refugees. So they wanted to integrate refugees with this project, with this program. And the idea was to put refugees students and German students together and let them do this project and let them create something by themselves. And so, I mean, normally the students are from 13 to 20, let's say. And at this age, you maybe don't trust in yourself. Even if you have some ideas or even if you think that might be good, you still might not show or tell it because you're scared that it's just not good enough. And this project, it forces kind of still to do it and to try it out and to trust in yourself. And at the end, so the dancers, professional dancers who work with students, they take these ideas and put them into a choreography, which is presented on stage. It helps a lot, to learn how to trust in yourself and still try to do something.
Okay. All right. I find that particularly interesting because that is an example of using another medium to achieve a certain purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what that means to me, or let's say it illustrates how sometimes you can approach a problem. It could be a problem having to do with communication. In this case, if I understand you correctly, it had to do with integration. And you used dance to bring cultures together.
Exactly.
All right, that's fantastic. What do you think? What is your experience with this freedom that we experience with improvisation? Does that help? Or what's your experience there?
Yeah, it helps a lot, of course. So if you are trying to be perfect all the time and put yourself in several frames, I don't think, for me, it wouldn't work at all. So I need this freedom, definitely. And at work or when I'm dancing, it's always, you have to try things out. So as you know, German is also not my mother language, so English is my third language. And sometimes I get really blackouts in every language, even in Russian.
Yeah, me too, also in English sometimes.
Yeah, and you just don't know why. And I mean, for me, I can't explain it. It just happens sometimes. But then you just need to still try to use it somehow differently, let's say. It helps a lot to overcome these boundaries, which are often set by your working environment or the audience, let's say. If you stay yourself and trying to do it your own way, for me, it always works best.
All right, good. All right, well, I don't know. I'm not going to go into how this improvisation works at work. Well, I'm sure you have to do it. You have to think on your feet sometimes at work. And maybe, sometimes you have to be a little bit more structured in the way you communicate in the work setting. But all in all, improvisation and giving yourself the freedom not to think so much about mistakes works just like it does on the dance stage. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. Well, the very last question that I have for you is, generally speaking, this format that I'm working on right now, it promotes a different kind of learning. Now, I'm not saying that the formal learning, learning in a formal setting doesn't have its value. However, I want to believe that there are other ways, yes, from which we can benefit. I just want to ask you, because you've had many experiences with the language, you speak 3 languages, you are a professional, you use English in a professional setting, you work with art, you know how to work with stage fare, and so on and so forth. Now, from the experience you've had with learning English, what would you say has helped you to develop more? Was it the formal settings or the more informal settings? Use of the language, formal lessons or informal activities, free time activities that helped you to develop?
So I think I'm really good example of the second option you just said. So the formal learning at school didn't bring me much at all. So I was just learning with lists, and that was it. I mean, it didn't bring me any further at that point. What helped me a lot was really to speak to other people in English or in German also, of course, and to practice it. And then you are put in this environment, in this setting where you don't have any other opportunities. I mean, you have to speak, you have to understand, and you have to deal somehow with it. You're kind of forced to do it. And I mean, you start by little, and at the beginning you maybe don't understand a lot, but with some help, with some translation tools, let's say applications, you always come a step further, and at the end you just realize, okay, now I actually do understand what the people are talking about, and I do understand what they want from me. And at one point we're just surprised, okay, why did this happen actually? And for me it was really good to be in these settings and to try to speak and
to live the language, I would say.
To live the language.
Fantastic. Olga, I think it's so great that you're here again. Yes, and I'm very excited. I want to thank you for being here, and thank you also for confirming what I want to promote. I want my learners to recognize that while, yes, the formal training is very important, we don't want to say that that we get absolutely nothing from it. I mean, you do, vocabulary lists are, definitely a place where we should begin. However, it's using the language not only in formal situations, but in informal and unstructured situations that really helps to develop. I'm glad you agree with me.
Yeah, I really do. So practice and it's really everything when you need to learn how to speak.
Fantastic. All right. So, my dear, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I'm looking forward to further projects with you in the future.
Me too.
Yeah. And what can I say? I think I'm just going to take this opportunity to say to my listeners out there, try to be like Olga a little bit. She's a successful lady who is an engineer and also someone who works with art. She is also a professional dancer. And these two activities, working with these two activities, as I said, in work settings or in dance or art settings on the stage, both of these have helped her. And I hope that we can learn from that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Olga, thanks again for coming, and looking forward to our next interview.
Yeah, me too.
With a small win is always a good way to begin. Feel free to check out the show notes for this episode at www.trainingtree.de/podcast or englishcoachpodcast.com. Again, like it if you like it, and if you don't, lie to me. Just kidding, but still, give meaning to the things you think about the show by using the feedback link to tell me personally what you think. This will help it to help you as it's intended to do. Thanks for listening. Looking forward to hearing from you, and bye for now.